Welcome to Invictus Motors for the review of the Porsche 911 997.2 Carrera 4S. And in this video, what I would like to cover, why the convertibles really sell so well here in the UK, what's all the fuss about the Generation 2 997s, and all in all, what the spec of this 911 is. And if you've got one of these, perhaps this video should hopefully give you sort of the motivation to go out and actually enjoy your car and appreciate your car, because sometimes I think when you've got something like this, you forget to appreciate what a beautiful thing it is, and how beautiful it is to look at it, how amazing it sounds. And what I want to cover here is perhaps all these factors. Firstly, the 997.2 Carrera 4S, these were introduced in and around the late 2008, and at the moment, or just around the world, these are rather rare cars from the point of view when it comes to the resale market, or just people having them in their possession and in their ownership. And that's due to the fact that they were built around the recession time, and hence the values of these over the past couple of years have actually really gone up. And secondly, the 997.2 addresses some of the concern areas that arose from the 997.1s, such as the IMS bearing, the bore scoring, and the fact that the Generation 2 had a massive change going from the indirect fuel injected engines to the direct fuel injection, which completely eliminates all these issues. And also the 997.2 is, I think, according to some percentage of statistics, it's, I think, a 70% different car over the 997.1, and that starts from the engine, the PDK gearbox, the coolant pipes, and how they are run, how the sports exhaust system, the suspension, the brakes, the interior. It might look similar, but as a matter of fact, this is a totally different interior in the sense how the seats are, how they operate, how the interior in terms of the sport steering wheel, the PCM system is like, how all these buttons are like. This isn't just a plasticky, gimmicky change, but rather I think they have tried to smarten up the car and make it almost like it's a bulletproof, bomb-proof car in that sense. Now, in terms of what they're like to drive, they're an absolute pleasure of a car to drive. The 911 997s, in general, evoke so many of the raw characteristics that we find both from a driving point of view and both from the way they look, going back to the earlier 993s and the 964s, because they made a return back to the oval shaped headlights as opposed to the Friday headlights that we had in the 996. Additionally, now in the 997.2, you've got the PDK, the 7-speed dual Couplungsgetriebe gearbox. Sorry, let me move this paper out of the way. Now, in the 997.2, most people option to have the PDK gearbox. This is the dual clutch gearbox, standing, in German it reads as dual Couplungsgetriebe, dual clutch transmission. And the two clutches work of odd and even numbers. And as I'm in 6th gear, sensationally, it drops to 2nd or 3rd gear, and that it does this in a split second. There is literally no hesitation whatsoever. Whereas the gearbox that we had previously in the 997.1, the Tiptronic gearboxes, they had their own special characteristics. I'm not going to knock that gearbox down, but this is just a far superior gearbox from a sports orientation point of view. I mean, going to the limit and going to the level where when they introduced the 991.1 GT3s, they simply introduced them in the PDK automatic gearboxes and no longer in manual gearboxes. And only later on in the Generation 2 991s did they actually revert back to introducing the manual gearboxes again. And this just goes to show how highly Porsche thought of these gearboxes. The DFI engine in this. Obviously, one could argue that the 997.1s was that raw, gruntier, angrier sounding 911s. Maybe this is what the purist and the Porsche enthusiast want. But some people do like the comfort of being able to drive their 911s in and out of, you know, situations like we're in now, on these lovely roads, going to a trip, going to visit some family member, or a 911 that we will practically daily drive every single day, as this has been driven, because this has done, you know, 98,000 miles now after my test drive, after putting some miles on it. And we'll get to the point of mileage in a moment. So this is the benefits of the 997.2s and the 991s, because of the gearbox, the DFI engine, the fact you get better economy, the fact all in all you're sitting in a much more comfortable car as opposed to the .1s, or as opposed to the 996 or the 993s or the 964 or the original 911s and so forth. But this is the really beautiful thing about 911s, because you've got this fantastic history behind this brand, which makes so many of us fall in love with the brand, with the car, with the three numbers that read 911. Now, what can we expect performance-wise out of the six-cylinder boxer flat six engine in this DFI? Well, this is a 3.8 litre naturally aspirated engine. It produces 380 bhp, which, to put this in perspective, the 991.1 Carrera S's that were introduced in 2011, they produce just under 400 bhp at 395 bhp. So it just goes to show what a phenomenal performance the 997.2 C4S offers. At 380 bhp, this is you know, crazily quick. And then torque-wise, it's 420 Newton meters of torque. And these are absolutely brilliant for overtaking when you're on countryside roads, or when you've got these beautiful windy roads that sort of go left and right. So back to the torque, 420 Newton meters of torque. So it allows you to do exactly what you need to do. And, you know, put it on that line and it will do exactly that. And, you know, the fact you've got launch control, you didn't have that in the 997.1. In terms of the 0 to 60, you can expect a 0 to 60 at 4.7 seconds. Sorry, 0 to 62 at 4.7 seconds. That is quick, because the newer generation, the 991s after that, does 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds. And now additionally, the top speed, I think I read it was at about 183 miles per hour. Now spec-wise, this is finished in the platinum silver metallic color, a beautiful color which is complemented together with the 20-inch 997.2 turbo alloys. So, you know, this is extremely well spec'd from the exterior point of view. This is a cabriolet, it's a convertible. So when you've got weather like this, this is the car you want to be in. But in the UK, the convertibles are amongst the best-selling cars over the coupe, especially when it comes to the 911s. These kind of cars do extremely well all throughout the year, because it's a car that you can actually plan to look forward to drive, you know, with a convertible. And just, you know, the minute you've got that roof down, it, you know, puts a massive smile on your face. And because of the engine being at the back, you have the benefit of a 2+2 setup. So on a convertible, the fact you've got two seats at the back and the roof goes down, you could practically have an adult who's not going to have a sore neck after they've sat in the back of it. So that's from the slight spec point of view and the practicality point of view. Now, what can you expect on the interior spec? And I will cover a couple of the mechanical spec alongside it as well. You've got the PDK, well, not the PDK, well, the sports steering wheel with the paddle shifts, which is, you know, to some of us a must-have, especially if you like to feel like you're in a sports car. So, you know, it's great to have. It's leather, it's lovely to hold. You've got your paddle shifts. And here in all of this center area here is leather stitch. So this has got the extended leather package. Spec-wise, you've got the Chrono Sport Plus package with PASM, and Additionally, in terms of the front headlights, this has the Xenon Plus cornering dynamic headlights. Seats wise, we're sitting into the heated seats, the front heated seats, which has got the Porsche crest here on the headrest, and this has the memory seats, so you've got the benefit of being able to program the 2 keys that come with this car to the vehicle. And additionally, you've got the Bose and you've got the touchscreen PCM with the European navigation system and the mobile Bluetooth connectivity for your telephone calls. So hopefully this is everything that you need to know in relation to the 911, the 997.2 C4S from a spec performance point of view, what they're like to drive. And if you are thinking of getting one, definitely go away and seriously consider buying one of these, because these are at the moment still, I think, pretty great value for money, because they are still almost like a modern appreciating classic. They're not going to lose you your money, and the joy and the fun you get out of it, and the fact that after 3-4 years worth of ownership, you should still possibly be getting what you've paid for the vehicle back. Now, this in terms of owners history wise, I think from memory this had 2 owners since new. Don't hold me to it, because it's a lot of information to remember that I need to be able to tell you all in one take. But what I know really well out of this car is the phenomenal service history. This has got a full Porsche service history, and somebody definitely had a lot of money to then also do all of the servicing, pretty much every single servicing, including the maintenance, all at a main dealer. We're talking about the front coolant crossover pipes being replaced with them, brakes, discs, whatever you could think of, from a car that is now done just over 98,000 miles, a car that is 12 years old, for someone to do every single item from a servicing point of view, from a maintenance point of view at a main dealer, rather than at a Porsche specialist where you could get slightly better rates and prices. Kudos to that person to do that. Now, sound wise, let's just cover the sound. We're in 3rd gear at about 61 miles an hour. Just phenomenal to handle, phenomenal to drive. It's an amazingly sounding car, and hopefully I've been able to do it some justice. And let's put it in sports. It's dropped to 1st gear. Actually, we'll just have it in the automatic. So sports is on. Automatic gear mode. It held the revs up to about 5,000 RPM, and then it went up a rev. And this is us, doing only 45 or 40 miles per hour, and it's doing an amazing job by pressing that sports button. It's holding into 3rd gear. Such a good sound, honestly. So I guess this is the advantage of the Chrono Sport Plus pack. But there's so much to cover when it comes to a car like this. I mean, some of us end up owning these 911s for over 10 years, and every day you take it up for a drive, there's something new you learn about it. And certainly for me, every time I've taken these cars out for a test drive, I've actually gone out and learned something new myself. So if you're interested in a 997.2 Carrera 4S and you're looking for one, I mean, here it is. We've got one in stock. It's not going to be advertised until tomorrow morning, but if you're interested, it's available, and hopefully the video has done has served its purpose to help you get into a 911, or to convince you in relation to buying a 911. I certainly am in absolute love with these cars, and I wouldn't replace owning and driving a 911 for any other car. And now I thank you for your time, for watching this video, for subscribing to our channel. And I've just been looking at the Google AdSense page. This is the page that tells us how much money we're making from our two YouTube channels. I think over the past 2 months, the two channels has made approximately £400. All the money goes to a fantastic cause. We support a charity. They all get donated to that charity, and the money gets sent to Afghanistan, where we actually sponsor orphan children, and at the same time, we help families that practically have had no food on their table for weeks on end. In some cases, they have to prioritize who actually gets the food in their family, because some of the family have little children. So it goes into educational programs for little kids, so Afghanistan can have a better future and not wars as we've had them for the past 40 plus years. And additionally, some of it goes into feeding families and hopefully giving them an opportunity to go out and seek work and to rebuild their country with a full stomach. So I thank you once again for subscribing, for staying staying a loyal fan, and somebody that supported this channel, somebody that supported our business for such a long time. And thank you once again. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.